Hey all, back for the start of a new week here. It's hard to believe we're only about a month from Thanksgiving. The holidays are about to roll around here shortly, and I guess Halloween is about 2 weeks away. So, yeah, winter's going to be up on us, and we're seeing a bit of that start to take hold up north. Got to get my tools going here. Let me load that up real quick. Every time I reboot my system at night, I lose these tools and have to bring them up from scratch again. So there we go. There's a bear clinic low up to the north in the Dakotas, and that's associated with a front that's running from about Minnesota out to the Pacific Northwest, probably somewhere in this region right here. Let's check out the big picture, bring that up real quick. Let's see, here we go. Here in Texas, we've got mostly high pressure. That's the reason we're under clear skies right now. Very mild and dry conditions. There's the surface plots there, and you can see the dew points are in the 40s and 50s here in this part of Texas. And the richer dew point values, the 60s, are well to the south, way down here in this part of Texas along the coast and up in the Trans-Pecos region of Texas right here. So this is starting to come around up to the high plains, and as we get more of the deep southerly flow, that'll bring better moisture northward. National Hurricane Center showing Matthew finally off the charts completely, and there's Nicole hanging around, and let's see what's coming up over the next 5 days. Pretty quiet. I think hurricane season is about done, but there are occasionally late season storms. A notable one was 1985. That was I'm trying to remember the name of that one. There was a hurricane that went up through to Florida, hung around here, went up to Louisiana. Elena. Yeah, that was a very late season one, mid-November. So we're not totally out of the woods yet. Let's check out the surface plots right here, and we'll take a closer look at that system up in the northern plains. You can see that temperatures are in the 70s through the Nebraska Panhandle and around the Black Hills of South Dakota. That's very warm for this time of year, but they do have downslope conditions in that region. See those westerly winds right here? We get adiabatic warming, air moving downslope, and that tends to heat up there. Up to the north, though, we've got the frontal system located about right here, and a cold front running something like this through southern Wyoming, and then it goes northward up into the Fargo, North Dakota area. So north of that, you can see definitely some cooler temperatures. Let me move that so you can see that better. 20s coming out of Alberta. And here, let's see, let me draw the wind plots really quick. So there you go, you can see that convergence there of the wind field. So it looks like the frontal system is running something like that. Now, as I've said before, they're very hard to pick out when they're in the higher terrain of the mountains. But in a case like this, you can definitely pick that up pretty well. Southerly winds coming through the passes here around Yellowstone, and up to the north you can see the northerly winds in Montana. Okay, let's see. Anything else we want to cover here? It is a very slow day, so I guess we'll just head right into the forecast. Look at the GFS here. Let me get this centered. There we go. Current conditions, you can see the gradient between very low thickness values up in Canada. See, there's the core of the very cold polar air up in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and the very warm tropical air from South Dakota out to Utah. So that's going to place our front roughly like this. So that cool air is going to sweep very gradually southward, and only by Wednesday evening it's barely going to be moving into the Texas area. So running something like that, maybe a few showers along that where we intersect the deeper moisture. That would be along and east of I-35, maybe all the way to Missouri. And then let's see, Thursday, Friday, the polar air kind of diminishes. Trying to get the Meteostar animation working here. Sometimes it's very non-responsive. You can see the remains of Nicole heading up towards Bermuda. And then the weekend, let's take a look at Friday night. Looking like this, we have a new system coming together in Alberta. So running something like this. There's the warm front extending to Minnesota. And as you might guess, there's a lot of downslope flow right there. So conditions should be on the warm side yet again for Nebraska and South Dakota there going into the weekend. More cool weather for the eastern U.S. And let's see what happens to the system here. Over the weekend, moves mostly to the east into Ontario. So we get a very limited push of cool air southward. Maybe something like that. Then our next system comes in from the west coast. And I'll show you something to take a look at right here. See this thickness gradient right here across California? It extends inland all the way to about Iowa and the Dakotas. Now you'll notice that it tends to bend southward kind of like this and bends northward up like that. And in between, that's about where you're going to find a baroclinic low, maybe somewhere in that area. I shouldn't say baroclinic low, maybe an area of enhanced baroclinicity. Frontogenesis, it's going to tend to concentrate in this area right here. So that'll be over Nevada this next Sunday. So watch what happens to this area as it shifts eastward. See how it's coming together even stronger? Frontogenesis taking hold in this area. So let me draw this. Should be kind of a very showery type pattern in Colorado, maybe some snow showers across Utah and Colorado. And then as we get out to 168 hours for next Monday, cyclogenesis out on the plains. So that and vertical stretching of the column, that's going to result in some lee side cyclogenesis. And then we see the frontal system sweep into Texas around Tuesday or Wednesday. So that'll be our first probably good push of cooler air. Then we have another system coming together out here. Very baroclinic period here in the Four Corners next week. And with this one, looks like we have an even deeper surge of cold air. Of course, we could be seeing just the usual cold bias of the GFS past 240 hours. However, it does bring the 540 decameter thickness line all the way into the Dakotas, and you can see the next line goes all the way to Dallas. So this, if it pans out, this will be a very cold outbreak. Of course, I'm expecting it to back away a little bit on this or change the forecast a little bit. 992 millibar low there coming into Illinois. Very well developed frontal system. And this is almost the pattern that we had during the sinking of the Lake Superior November. I'm trying to think of the name. It was in that that song from the mid-70s. Maybe one of you guys know that. In fact, it's in the Extreme Weather Handbook. I can't believe this is slipping my mind. Maybe I'm going to see now here. Yeah, anyway, 1975 or 76, there was a ship that sank in Lake Superior in a storm. Let me see if this is coming out. Edmund Fitzgerald. Thank you very much, Ron, there. Yeah, that was the one. So, yeah, this is the very same synoptic pattern we had with that storm. And there tends to be a lot of warmth in the lakes this time of year, and that can really lead to strong cyclogenesis of storms coming over the lakes right there. So this would be almost a Edmund Fitzgerald type storm there coming up through there. However, we are a little bit early for that kind of very strong low pressure area up in the Great Lakes. I mean, we're almost to that season, but maybe still a few weeks off. So anyway, that's just kind of way down the line. Here comes another storm, and then we're getting to the end of the forecast period there. But it looks like, it looks like summer is about done. So right now we're in a bit of that Indian summer pattern, and things should start changing next week. Okay, I think that's about all I got here. Just kind of a quiet pattern. Let me take a look at the satellite. Maybe that'll give us one more thing to look at. So I'm going to my weathergraphics.com/WX page there. And I've got a few links, a few quick reference links. I can go to the FAA page and bring down the CONUS infrared. And we can take a quick look at that there. So there you can see kind of a weak frontal system moving through the Midwest right there. More developed one over southern Canada right there. So this is the main baroclinic area out to the west right there. So this is almost, maybe it's not quite filled in, but this has kind of got the shape of what we call a baroclinic leaf. So that would be indicative of maybe some sort of shortwave further west. Let me drag that down. So that's the baroclinic leaf shape, and then shortwave would be running something like that. However, this cloud pattern is a little bit broken up. I would call this maybe just maybe almost a baroclinic leaf, but maybe not quite. And then let's look at the moisture. We haven't looked at that in about a month. We were seeing a lot of monsoon moisture working its way northward. Not this time around again. Even Mexico looks pretty dry. So this is quite a change from a couple months ago. Most of what we're seeing is frontal in nature, associated with a jet stream coming through the western U.S. Okay, let's see here. Anything else to look at? I think we're done here. Okay, I guess that's it. We'll check in with you same time tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central and 9 o'clock Eastern. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.